podcast. I'm your host, Michael Anti, my co-host, Kyle Heath. This is going to be the show where we cover your new esports and personalities, gaming industry-related news, new and upcoming games, and video game technology innovation. Sorry, I'm a little bit scuffed right now. But I'm scuffed mostly because we're covering Summer Games Fest, what we've been looking forward to for the last 6 months. Pretty much over a year, wouldn't you say, Kyle?
Yeah, just about, just about.
But before we jump in, there's a few things we like to do is do a quick update on video games and also, well, the new releases of this month, but also our updates of what we've been doing the last week. So Kyle, what have you been up to, man? Did you get a
Yeah.
chance to play any games? Because last week you said you didn't get to do anything.
Yeah, I think this week I did get a chance to play some more A Way Out with my boy. So that was fun. But yeah, that's honestly that was about it, I think, for gaming for me this week, really. Just kind of other than gaming, just pushing content for the channel and, trying to
You've been crushing it?
yeah, doing that and trying to, and it's like, it's been NBA finals and stuff and, Stanley Cup finals, and so I've been like, catching sports when I can, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's been just a lot of that and chilling and getting that content out, baby. What about you though, Mike?
Heck yeah, dude.
This past week, dude, you play any games?
Well, doing a little bit of Clone Hero, just playing random songs like I haven't even heard of. They're pretty sick. But the main one I've been doing is Breath of the Wild, still trying to grind through that and get to Tears of the Kingdom as quickly as possible, man. I've explored, I think I said last time, I've explored all of the map, basically got all the towers, which makes it easier for me to teleport. I've gotten, I think there are 14 or 13 or 14 memories that you have to get in the game where you like do flashbacks so Link gets his memory back. So I did most of those that I could do before you get into Hyrule Castle, and the very last one that gets revealed to you when you collect all the other ones. I found the hero sword, so like the classic Link sword. Can't pull it out of the ground yet. Unfortunately, I'm not strong enough. But I'm making my efforts to one of the divine beasts. So
Okay.
it's going to be a bit of a grind, and I think I'm going to take out the next divine beast and then just basically grind to get strong enough to go get the sword and then go kill the rest of the divine beasts and beat this game and move on to Tears of the Kingdom as quickly as possible.
Man, as quickly as
So,
possible. This man gonna try and speed through it. Is that what
yeah,
I'm hearing?
I'm good. I'm gonna try my best, dude. It's pretty much gonna be impossible unless I watch like speedrunning videos. I'm not trying to skip the entirety of the game. I'm just trying to make it faster. So we'll see how it works out. It's like I
Okay.
still want the content, but I want it in like I don't want to travel across the whole world in like time waste. But I
Yeah.
also want to get like 3 of the best horses in the game. So it's like, kind of do want to travel. It's like, dude, I'm in a conundrum right now when it comes to this game.
You know what? You know what my advice is? Just enjoy
What's
the
that?
game. Enjoy the game. And Tears of the Kingdom will always be there, right? It's not like
That's facts.
and I haven't seen. I personally haven't seen many spoilers or anything, but I don't necessarily go out of my way to look for that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
But I mean, just enjoy the game because like soak up what the game has to offer because it's going to be that much
That's a good
better
point.
and you're going to appreciate it more when you understand what's added on to the next game, right? What was available in the first. Because you may like if you go through it quick, you could skip stuff that otherwise is improved upon or it's just completely different
That's a
between
good
the
point.
games. So that'd be my advice, but
I mean, that's good advice. I think I'm in my own head because every time I come in here to game, right, this is literally staring at me. So
Put it in the
it's an
closet, out of
unopened
sight, out of mind. You
collector.
know what I'm saying?
Dude, don't tempt me. I might do it.
out,
Go
of,
hide it.
out of sight, out of mind.
What if it takes me too long to beat Breath of the Wild and I end up forgetting I have Tears of the Kingdom? Go out and
There's
get
no
another
shot,
one.
bro. I would
I'm
poke
just
fun at you,
trolling.
dude, if you did that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'd
My
be like,
memory's bad, but it ain't that bad.
6 months from now, I'd be like, hey, yo, Mike, did you play Tears of the Kingdom?
Be
I'd
like,
be like,
oh,
oh,
no!
wait, I forgot I had that game.
Facts, dude.
Man.
Well, if you're cool with it, I'm gonna jump into video game releases of June.
Yeah,
Right?
I think we should
So,
do that. I think it'd be a good idea, knocked out of the start, because quite a
Yeah.
bit to cover today, you know what I'm saying, Mike?
yeah, there's a lot, man. So I'll be kind of quick. I'm only gonna cover the 10 like major releases, and I'm gonna do them in order of the month. So depending on when you like listen to this episode, then you could basically like try to decipher which games are already out. Right. So the main games that are already out is Street Fighter 6. That came out June 2nd, so about a week ago. And that's on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. So pretty much everything but the Switch. Then we have We Love Katamari, Reroll, and Royal Reverie, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not familiar with this game, admittedly, as you can tell if I'm mispronouncing it. Also came out June 2nd, PC, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and Switch. So literally everything if you got it. Then you got Diablo 4, which I heard is a major hit. I actually wasn't
Oh yeah.
expecting it to be good. That's been out for basically 2 days, and I think there was some early access people have been taking advantage of, but that's on pretty much everything but the Switch. So PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and X, Xbox One,
Yeah.
and PC.
I
You
look.
got
I heard it was a good
yeah,
release. I will say that. I heard
yeah.
that they actually nailed it with the release, which is surprising. I think I saw some
It
articles that
is.
were like
Wow.
kind of shocked by it, but yeah, actually it
I
wasn't too
think
bad.
I think they even brought it up today in Summer Games Fest too.
Yeah.
So pretty
So,
cool to see. The other game that's out is Amnesia, part of the Amnesia franchise, Amnesia: The Bunker. That's PC, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and X. Kind of old-ish, June 6th. And also we got a new F1 game, F1 2023 for anybody that's watching the Formula 1 series right now. That's on every platform but the Switch, including PS4 and Xbox One. That was June 16th. So that's coming out in 7 days, 7 days from when our podcast is released. Then you have Crash Team Rumble, which I hear is like highly anticipated. It like looks
yeah,
kind of
I mean,
what
it looks
people.
like fun. I think we saw a little bit
Yeah,
about it even today. So
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. A little bit of hype coming out. Pretty cool. Um, yeah, so that's PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PS5, June 20th. Another one, June 20th, is Aliens Dark Descent, which is a part of the Aliens franchise. That game looks crazy, to be honest. That's on everything but the Switch. And then you got Trepang 2. I hear it's like a heavy hitter. I don't know much about it. It's only on the PC. So shout out to anybody that's like Steam, PC, whichever platform they might be using on computer. That's June 21st. And then June 22nd, closing out the months, is Final Fantasy 16. That's PS5 only. So I know there's going to be a lot of people excited. We're going to talk about it. Looks sick. So, and then there's also Sonic Origins Plus closing out the month of June, June 23rd on every platform. So,
Oh
pretty
baby.
much the main ones.
Oh
Yeah.
baby. Nice little June there, you know.
Heck yeah, buddy.
Nice little June. But Mike, you know what else is nice
Yes.
around this time of year, this month?
Where are we about to hit up right now? Are you about to just jump in?
If you're done with the releases, I would jump right
I
in.
am I am done. Go for it.
Hold on, all right.
Hit,
Okay.
give the people what they want.
Okay, yeah. Little disclaimer and everything before we get into it. We're definitely gonna talk about Summer Games Fest, of course. Pretty much try and cover as much as we can about it. There may be a couple of games we like skimp over just because either it was a smaller announcement or just wasn't as, relevant to, what Mike and I normally play. So
True.
there could be some of that. But also, yeah, I mean, we're also after this going to talk about we're going to skim through the Day of the Devs, which was like the indie showcase, which was phenomenal. I skimmed through it a little bit earlier after the sometime after Summer Games Fest, and was thoroughly impressed. So there's some good stuff. Yeah, well, let's dive right in, shall we?
Yeah,
Summer
let's go.
Games Fest 2023 happened today. On this fine June 8th. We're filming the episode the same day it happened. Of course, it's one of those things like I personally didn't want to miss it this week because I know we normally don't record on Thursdays, but it was we worked in the schedule to make sure that we could cover this week. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot to go over. You see beautiful Jeff Keighley on the stage, just giving his given the nice little introduction. I don't know. Every time I see Jeff Keighley walk out, I'm just like smiling, like ear to ear. You know what I'm saying? You could tell like he's passionate about it, and you just cares.
That's what I was about. Exactly what I was about to say. When he comes out, it's just like he's. I don't know him personally, right? We don't know him personally, but it's like I get the impression he's a total nerd and geek, and he's just so excited. He's a really good presenter.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, you know what? I will. I was gonna full screen it, but I won't because I think it'll cut off some of the screen. So it'd probably be better if I just just leave it here in a big giant theater mode. But yeah, there was a pretty lengthy introduction, but we get started off. He's with a nice little announcement here. They jump into it. A nice little Prince of Persia game. I guess a newer entry in the series. And I say a newer entry in the series, but this is really like a different take on Prince of Persia entirely than what we've seen in the past, right?
Oh,
This is very
100%.
much like a Vania, like Metroidvania style of Prince of Persia game. So, and I know Mike, you played Ori recently, which I would probably
Yeah.
akin to that kind of style. So, I don't know. What did you think about this? Because I think it actually looked pretty interesting, and it looks like a nice little direction they're taking.
Well, I think so my perspective is like I didn't really play Prince of Persia ever. I watched people play it, just never really like got down and dirty with it. But from what you just said, I've been recently going through the Ori games. I finished them maybe a month ago. It's hard to remember time at this point. But this is a proper platformer style game, and it looks really good, and it's built off of a strong IP. So I'm excited to see how it plays out. I
Yeah,
think that's where I'm at. It looks cool. Looks really cool.
yeah, yeah. It does look really cool. I think it was like a. It almost gives me like some like out of like the magic and stuff. It's also kind of like a like I don't know, kind of like a multiverse style like thing. Um, I think what was most interesting to me was that this is. I mean, they're opening up with a Ubisoft game, and Ubisoft has the
Yeah,
forward, right?
that's
So
true.
it's
That's
like, oh,
true.
it's a little interesting that they open up with this, and it kind of makes you wonder, like, could this? Hopefully, it doesn't, but like, could it steal thunder from that forward, announcing something that already looks like this sick in the main showcase? So, but yeah, Ubisoft
Possibly.
original Lost Crown comes out January 18th of 2024, so not too long. Um, I don't know. I think we saw a little bit of kind of like gameplay in it. I don't know, Mike. I'm not gonna do this for every game we see, but are we think it's gonna hit release? Is there gonna be a delay? I feel like that's the main
Uh,
question when we see a lot of these.
all right. So because it's Ubisoft, there's one or two things, right, to take from this, right? Is Ubisoft Forward coming out? Was it this weekend? Sunday, I think, or Monday? It's coming up in the next few days, and that them showing that could either be a good thing or a bad thing. It's like this is our best that we have to do, and then we're going to give it the most eyes because who knows? Maybe Ubisoft Forward isn't going to have the most amount of eyes at Summer Games Festival, or this is like just a taste of what they have cooking in the studio. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, it's true.
it's concerning still. I'm not convinced Ubisoft is okay right now, considering like the layoffs they've had, closing down places, and like just completely cutting out games and stuff.
Yeah,
I
it's a
don't
good
know
point.
what's going to go on at the forward, but we have to pay attention to it. This might be one of the most important forwards for him.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, we will of course discuss next week's episode a little more about that whenever the details drop. But yeah, I think
100%.
yeah, I mean this game for one too, it's coming out on last gen and current gen. We're talking Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PS4 and 5. It'll also be available through Epic Game Store, and it's on Switch as well. I think overall this is going to be a it's gonna. I'm hoping the content's good because it's definitely not going to be the most technically intense game from what it seems like.
Probably
So,
not.
but it looks
As
great
long,
nonetheless. So,
yeah. I think as long as the mechanics are good and they look fun, the bosses look fun,
yeah,
so it should be a good game.
yeah, for sure. Um, so yeah, this I thought was very interesting for the showcase, but they immediately went from Prince of Persia as
Yeah.
like an initial thing to yeah, let's shift into the Mortal Kombat 1 preview that was kind of hyped up before the showcase started.
Yep.
So it's kind of like but it's interesting they didn't start with it. I mean, I don't know exactly why, but yeah, I mean, Mortal Kombat 1, I mean, I will say cutscenes and everything look fantastic.
Oh yeah,
Animations,
dude.
the animations of the fighting and everything look top notch. I mean, they it from what it looks like, I mean, gameplay and everything else, it looks like they nailed it. And they did spend a lot of time on this one because it's been quite some time since the last Mortal Kombat came out. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's you could tell they really took their time with it, and I hope that shows because it's not too far along when we talk about release date. So anyways, before we even get to that though, Mike, what were your thoughts on this? Because I thought it looked pretty impressive.
Well, I'm curious if you noticed this. Did you play a lot of Mortal Kombat games like growing up and stuff? Because Mortal Kombat's a franchise that's been around for it seems like
Decades, yeah,
forever.
decades, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen some gameplay of like the old N64 titles and all that, so
Mhm.
I have some familiarity. Yeah,
Yeah, I played like a whole bunch of it. I think on the GameCube mostly, like N64, GameCube, and uh, what was after the GameCube? Oh yeah, the Wii. Why did I forget the Wii? But I played it all on those platforms, and watching the preview and trailer or, gameplay of this, like, demo and premiere, you can see remnants of those previous titles in it, along with the characters, of course, but, like, the combos are back, like, the theatrics of everything are back. I think I saw a couple of, hopefully you can, like, choose your mortalities at the end of the fights, but hopefully they're, like, plenty of options to choose from,
Oh
and some of
yeah,
them are, like, old classic ones that were,
yeah, like
like,
the
very
fatalities. Yeah,
like oh, yeah, man. So, I think it's really, really cool, and I like what they're trying to do with, like, bringing in cameo style characters
dude.
to
Yeah,
help with
that
combos.
that was something that's like, whenever I think Mortal Kombat, I just immediately think of like, just a fighter because that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
But like,
Oh, yeah.
I've wondered about Mortal Kombat before. It's like, how could they like switch up the formula or add something that could maybe change like the meta even or something like that? And it seems like this is an interesting direction about adding the cameo system, so you can have a second fighter just to come in and deal some extra damage or assist
Yeah.
out in some ways. So, yeah, very interesting idea. So I'll be curious to see how it actually plays out in game. Um,
Yeah, dude, I'm very excited.
dude, yeah. I mean, overall, everything just looks. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised how much they showed too. I mean, between like the fatalities and everything, but the actual like gameplay. Um, yeah, I mean, you could tell this game is like pretty close to being done. So, I think it's even more evident though when we talk about release date. It's September 19th of this year. It's
Dude,
literally
yeah.
3 months away.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm I might get it. I'm pretty
yeah.
sure I'm gonna get it.
Um,
It's probably gonna be on Game Pass too.
Yeah, there's pre-order bonuses too. I think there's from what I saw too. I think it was a whole list of like there was a list that leaked of like potential guest fighters and stuff. So there's like already like leaks and stuff happening. Um, but yeah, I mean overall, game looks great. Ed Boon came out, the goat himself, the Mortal Kombat franchise, been with it since the start. He came to talk about the game some more and kind of showcase some stuff. Um, I mean, everything like the UI and stuff looks pretty cool too because they show like the character select, in terms of just
It
the cameos as well as the main fighter, how that kind of
I
works.
I will say I think the main menu character select UI, it looks unfinished. Like, when I
Yeah,
saw it, I was like, "It looks very beta."
yeah,
Like, not beta in, like, the alpha beta kinda crap, but, like, beta in terms of development level,
yeah. Which is
and it just looks like it's not there, but everything else looks super polished.
yeah. You know what's interesting though? It's like you like I think this is in the game, but it's like the loading screen itself. It's not a loading screen. It's like the two fighters like in a standoff talking
Yeah.
smack before they pan out
Yeah.
and the fight begins. I think that's their way of like, you know, that's their version of the kind
Spicing it
of
up.
the loading screen kind of thing, which I thought was pretty creative. So I always find it interesting when like devs like find a way to cheat the loads, whether it's like through an animation
Oh,
or like
yeah, that's
some
a good
sort
point,
of
yeah.
thing. There's creative ways that that it's done. I think even like or like when the main menu like there's a couple games where like the main menu kind of seamlessly pulls into the story. So when you start a new game, it's like there. And the one that comes to mind, it may have been Spider-Man Miles Morales, where like the main menu was like was like him in like a subway or something like that, and then you started a new game, and the game just starts right there, like it pans out and the game starts. That's pretty cool.
That's
Like
so cool.
it's like woven in. Yeah,
That's a good way to do it.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, Mortal Kombat 1. Very, very very close here. And I mean, as you can see through me skipping, I mean they talked a lot about the game,
Oh,
so
yeah,
um,
yeah, there was definitely a lot of topics, well, a lot of breakdowns of what was going on and how everything worked, but
yeah, for sure.
I'm more about the, show me the game kinda
Yeah,
guy.
yeah. Totally get it. Yeah, they showed a little bit on Path of Exile too. I think there's a new kind of some content coming to that later. They also showed Street Fighter 6, which actually dropped just recently. Got very favorable
Yes, sir.
reviews. They even showcased a little crossover between Exoprimal and Street Fighter. So should be kind of an interesting crossover. Something I wasn't thinking when I think of a fighter crossover, but
Yeah,
yeah.
neither would I.
Yeah.
But, yeah, July 14th right there. Exoprimal.
So the game comes out. It's day and date on Game Pass, Exoprimal. So that is coming out soon, and then the collab will follow up in the fall. So, um, pretty interesting little thing there. And then the
Oh
man, the myth
yeah.
himself, I know Jeff Keighley. He kind of prefaced it by saying a collab I never would have suspected or didn't think
Oh
would
yeah.
happen. And yeah, Nicolas Cage is coming to Dead by Daylight. And what's even crazier too is that Nicolas Cage was actually there, and he came on stage and he talked about his character and the whole process. And I think what was cool to me is like I could tell like he actually like cared about it. You could tell like he spent a lot of time with it because he didn't just kind of go up and blow smoke. He was actually like kind of into it and talking about like, oh, like I had a family member that was actually really into the game, and so that's how I kind of got introduced. And so when he was offered the opportunity to play a to be a playable character, and then he jumped on it. And what's interesting too is like it's not just like he full on like did all the voices and everything, and I'm pretty sure he did mocap for it. Like he went all out for it, so it's a proper like little cameo, which I think is pretty interesting. But yeah, I didn't. I will say, Nicolas Cage was not a character I expected would be in Dead by Daylight, to say the least.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair to say, but I do need to say or ask you, have you seen his most recent movie? Because if you had, then it kind of makes sense that he would go into video gaming next, the
Mm.
video game industry next.
Yeah.
It's called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Yeah. No, I haven't seen it.
Dude,
Haven't.
it's amazing. He basically plays himself, and he referred to himself as himself in Dead by Daylight. And it basically is like a tie-in to that. So it's very, very cool. And I'm like, I have not played Dead by Daylight. I watched all the streams of like major streamers playing it and having
Yeah.
fun. And like I find it super entertaining. But I think this would be like this is kind of perfect for Nicolas Cage. There's gonna be
Yeah.
some goofy lines, for sure, right?
Oh yeah, no doubt. Um, yeah, it seems yeah, with that context, it sounds even more fitting. So
Oh yeah,
I'll be
dude.
I'll
It's
be
gonna be
interested to
good.
see maybe some gameplay on it. But I thought this was a cool little moment. I wasn't suspecting Nicolas Cage to ever be at a Summer Games Fest, but here we are. So very very cool stuff. They show some gameplay as well. Excuse me, they show some gameplay as well. After Nicolas Cage is done speaking, and yeah, it's his character model. That's Nicolas Cage, all right.
They slimmed him up.
Yeah.
Hey, he's getting older, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
He
funny.
has that little thing of like, I knew I'd survive, like as he was running out. It's like flying.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
looking good, man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they showed a little bit of season 3 of The Witcher. I know opinions of the show have probably gotten a little more polarizing over recent
Yeah,
over
unfortunately,
recent kind
yeah.
of controversies and all that. Nevertheless, I've heard good things about the series as a whole, so at least it's very well done, you know. But yeah,
Hopefully.
little
It
yeah,
looks good.
yeah, a little preview to the next season there. So very cool stuff. And then we get a little bit of a so this is a game that so oh no, I'm thinking of a different game. Sorry. This is Witchfire, which is just a for some reason like Remnant popped in my head when I saw that. My apologies.
It kind of look.
it kind
I
of
could
looks like
see
it.
it.
Yeah.
It had the same color scheme
Yeah.
almost.
It's almost like a
Yeah.
first person kind of version of that anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, very small preview there, wasn't much, but it did FPS. So there's that.
Yeah.
Speaking of FPSs, there's a new VR shooter, Crossfire, I think that's
Crossfire for
yeah, it's,
PlayStation VR2.
yeah, Sierra Squad,
Get-
PSVR 2. Yeah, I think we saw some stuff on this in the PlayStation showcase, but that is there. And then the game that I mistakenly thought was Remnant. So Remnant 2 is which we know has been in development for a while with the success of the first one. Yeah, it's just it reminds you of a nice little like kind of division in a I don't know, like a steampunk kind of like a medieval almost style, but
I think it's like so many legendary eras and styles all mashed together into some sci-fi horror. Like it's pretty
yeah.
wild.
Yeah, I was but I think the biggest thing's the team aspect, I think, being able to play
Yeah,
multiple
definitely.
people, but yeah, I mean the bosses and stuff look I mean it looks like a lot of fun if you just kind of want a mindless shooter to play with a couple buddies. Hop on beat some bosses. Story wise, I haven't played the first one. I don't know if there's really much tangible there story wise. I feel like at least when I look at games like this, I just think kind of the main objective is just like hop on, kill some time, like a fun shooter kind of thing.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I think I'm in the same boat as you. There's another game on here that's similar to that. But they all kind of remind me of like Back for Blood, Left 4 Dead, of Redfall, if that game was actually working. But like the intent is pretty much the same. It's like I think it said Gunslinger. No, that was the DLC. It's
yeah,
DLC that you could get, but
yeah,
yeah, the category of game, they're all kind of in that same genre.
right,
Third
yeah,
person role playing game, but also you work as a team kind of stuff.
right, yeah. Yeah, like Division's one that comes to mind to me the most is like a multiplayer third person shooter. But yeah, that comes out July 25th, which is a few days before my birthday. So happy birthday to me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Happy birthday, brother.
get
Whole
some
month
Remnant
early.
too. Yeah. But yeah. Moving on. One game that I saw, I wasn't expecting. I'll admit it wasn't expecting, but I think I think it just looks beautiful. And if you love Sonic, I mean, this is right up I think anyone's alley in that regard. Yeah, it's the new Sonic Superstars. It's called. This is this like at first when I saw this, I just thought, oh, okay, cool. They're remaking like the first original Sonic game. That's what I saw. But as the trailer goes on, I'm like, okay, now this is something new, which I think is even more exciting. But it's very interesting to see like Sonic and every character in this universe and like in a more up to date graphical kind of fidelity and um
Yeah.
see because there's a lot more detail you can pick out and like the movement of like their feet and stuff. I feel like you can see that like every detail of their runs and everything, which is kind of cool. Um, but dude, this I mean they're turning into octopuses. Like what's going on, dude? I mean I think the biggest thing. I mean this could be a co-op game, and I already
Yeah,
am just
that's
like,
I'm
dude,
really
sign me
excited.
up. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it
Did you say that
looks
in our
good.
DMs? You were just like, let's play Sonic when it comes out.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, I don't know. This is a game that I was like, you know what? Like, I love the Sonic games. I think the idea of like a multiplayer game in like the older fashion or older style of Sonic is really intriguing to me. So yeah,
Couch games. That's what I like to call them, is
yeah,
like old school couch living room games.
yeah, very true. This game is coming to PlayStation 5, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, the Switch, Epic Game Store, and Steam on PC. Yeah, man.
I hope
It's coming.
cross platform. That'd be sick.
Yeah, it would honestly be huge.
Be really cool.
Yeah, they just had the generic fall 2023 window.
Yeah.
We don't have an exact date yet.
AKA November, probably.
Yeah, maybe somewhere around
Also
there.
known as Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. It looks really cool though, and it's definitely something to be keeping an eye on. As we progress, you know. So,
I'm glad you're skipping over that game because I had no idea what that one was.
yeah, I'll be honest. I
I
don't know
tried to
either.
understand it, but
I just
it's like a
like,
PlayStation
yeah.
fantasy.
At first, every time I see a game like that, I'm just like, is that Genshin Impact? That's like where my head immediately goes.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I'm just like, anyway. Yeah, moving a little bit further, Life of P, which is a game that's actually in the world of Pinocchio. But this is a Soulsborne where you play as I don't know, I'm assuming Pinocchio. I don't know.
It's
Looks
Pinocchio.
like an emo Pinocchio, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's Pinocchio. This is like a hardcore version of Pinocchio.
Yeah.
It's good. It's looking. I've heard nothing but hype surrounding this game. There's a lot
Dude,
of promise, I think.
it looks insane. I mean, this is the thing. If you're into Soulsborns, this is going to be, I think, right up everyone's alley in that genre. So, um, yeah, it's a very much like a. It looks, it's so crazy too because a lot of these it's like everything looks very like, you know, medieval and kind of, you know, older style, but then you have like these giant mechs that are like
Yeah.
robotic and it's like it's kind of cool. They like mix worlds like that. But yeah, I mean some more trailer that came with this. The demo is available right now. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You can go and play this game, preview this game right now.
And it's on Game Pass. Look at that. You
It
see
is,
that logo?
it is on Game Pass. Day and date, I bet. I'd put my money on it,
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
Yeah, it's coming on PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Steam, and most importantly, Game Pass. So it's yeah, nice little release there, and definitely one I'm gonna be keeping an eye on, considering it's also on Game Pass. See how it ends up being. So I saw this. So Mike, going to this next game here, I saw this and I was like, okay, a desert. Every time I see a desert, especially during the showcase or anything, you know where my head goes? Fallout New Vegas. That's where my head immediately goes. All right.
You're down so bad.
I'm
off
down
Fallout,
so bad. All right.
so
It's
bad.
rough out here. I'm like, oh, look, a desert. Oh, look. Back it up. Let's play it again. Oh my goodness. What is this? Let's keep going. Scorpions. You know what was in Fallout New Vegas? Giant scorpions that would kill you. Oh,
so
man.
you were just thrilled.
So I'm seeing this. I'm
all
like, dude, this looks
excited.
too weird to be Fallout. But you know what, dude? I have copium, so I just kept watching. I was like, dude, what is going on? But also Jeff Keighley also prefaced this by saying it was Unreal Engine 5 is what this game is made in. So it's like you go into it and you're like, whoa, like okay, I'm gonna see something insane here, right? Like graphically. Albeit it still looks really great. But it's also it's kind of in the Dragon Ball universe, right? So it's very kind of cartoony, quote unquote.
Bandai Namco.
Yeah, and Namco.
So,
and yeah, it's it just looks quirky. You know, it looks like kind of looks in that universe, and I think graphically it still looks great. I was impressed by the shadows. You see a lot of shadows and stuff. I think it's where the kind of the engine will really shine. I think for a game like this, is in the shading and you know all those like minute details. But yeah, if you were just to take a guess on what this game is called, it probably wouldn't take too many guesses to realize that it is Sandland. You'd probably land there after a couple names, and that is what it's called. It's called Sandland. So all right, it honestly looks like a good time. I think it'll be interesting because it's kind of like robots and you're fighting like mystical creatures and like it's I don't know. It's in the Dragon Ball universe from the same creators, so it's I don't know. It looks like a very interesting game, and it's something that's different, which I think I cling to more and more in our generation of gaming. You know.
Oh, definitely, man. I got some thoughts that I'm going to share after we get through all the Summer Games Fest, just in general, of where like gaming is going.
Okay.
So I don't want to. We got to get through everything first.
We certainly
there's
do,
plenty
Mike.
to go through.
We certainly do. There's still more to go through. And we're, you know, at this point probably like 45-ish minutes in to the showcase. So
yeah.
This is more. Yeah, this and you know while we're watching a little, so on June 29th there's going to be a separate kind of indie showcase for the same studio that made Outer Wilds and Stray and like kind of that is kind of think of almost like an indie showcase kind of, and Annapurna. So and they're doing kind of an interactive showcase that is June 29th, 3 p.m. Might be worth checking out, honestly. They're insanely talented group of developers, so I think it'll definitely be worth seeing. But yeah, that was kind of announced here. It's kind of cool to see Summer Games Fest kind of incorporating, indie scene a little bit more. So very definitely cool to see. Throne and Liberty. You may ask, what is this game? It is an MMO, and I don't know. From the gameplay, I'll just be honest. It just looks like your run of the mill MMO to me. Don't see too much craziness here, Mike. But I don't know. What do you think? Are you? I don't feel like you're a huge MMO guy. But
no, man. I just grew up on shooters. I've always grown up on shooters. It's like I'm shooters and racing games. That's my main cup of tea. But don't get me wrong. I'll go on some story-driven content. Yeah. Like I just told you I was doing like Zelda and stuff like that. Like that's kind of my niche. I'll go in there. I'll go into Assassin's Creed, God of War. I'd love to play Last of Us. Like all those are kind of my thing. But when it comes down to like MMOs where I'm just off trading my own narrative, it's I lose interest quickly.
I see.
Like I feel like that's like one of the reasons why MMOs, I think it's kind of a niche. It didn't used to be, obviously, but now it's kind of a niche. Is like you need to create your own narrative in a way. Am I wrong when I say that? What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of MMOs, I think the main dopamine from them, so to speak, is the stat hits, right? Or the stat milestones. It's like you level up your attack, you level up your wood cutting, you level up your whatever it may be. I feel like that's kind of the main draw. And just finding if you could find a way to make the repetitive things interesting for a long period of time, that's where an MMO is successful. So whether that's whether that's the combat, like if it has fantastic combat, okay, that can hold people for a while. If it's just if there's like an economy system or something like that, then that's another avenue people could explore and all that. I mean, I know for RuneScape and stuff, like when I was super into it, I mean, there's of course all the stats and everything. There's a lot to do, like hundreds and hundreds of hours, which you want in an MMO, because you want people to spend a lot of time on it. But there's like, dude, the amount of detail, and because like I won't spend too long on this, but when RuneScape introduced the Grand Exchange, it changed a lot about the game, just from the fact that it was much easier to get stuff, but also people would literally play the Grand Exchange like it was like a stock market or like day trading. They would just they found a way to game the system and get like hundreds of millions in coins. So I don't know, if you have something like that, it can really sink in a lot of time for people. But yeah, I also think too, I mean, just going back to Throne and Liberty here, I love the screen of players wanted. You can sign up for a tech test. I feel like this players wanted should be the tagline for like a bunch of games nowadays that are just struggling. Yeah. But I thought it was pretty funny when they said players wanted. I was like, hopefully they're not desperate, but I think also something worth noting though, this is licensed under Amazon Games. So,
yeah, I was just about to say that.
How people may feel about that, past titles, but yeah, they will have heavy ties. So just, keep that in mind for this upcoming MMO. However, it is also next gen only. So it's only going to be on PS5, only going to be on Xbox Series X and S, and of course on PC through Steam. So
I don't know, that's not necessarily a bad thing in terms of playability, maybe.
Yeah.
Like ditching the older, I mean, we talked about it in one of our clips got some views about basically devs ditching the older generations in a way, like PS4 and Xbox Series S. So they want the power to make the game the best it could possibly be, and that ties into it.
I never hold it against it if they don't want to make stuff on old hardware, because at this point it is holding a lot of potential out of video games back. So I can definitely see it. Yeah, any new MMORPG? Guess what, dude? Throne and Liberty could be the game for you. When is it coming out? I don't know, but there's a test soon, so you can sign up. You can sign up for that
when it's finished.
Yeah,
that's when it's coming out.
When it's finished, TM. Yeah. So, yeah, moving on. I honestly don't know if I was paying close attention. I think I had some work stuff come up during this, so I'm not too familiar. But like just first impressions, like full disclosure, just first impressions. It kind of reminded me of like a almost like a hold fast style of game where it's like you're in a certain time and it's just a giant multiplayer battlefield, just like 100%. Fighting people in like a medieval time or something like that. And that's what screams to me. Or like you're a giant brute. Like I will say, it looks like a good time. You could probably get a couple buddies and a couple brews or something, have a fun night on this one. But yeah, very it's this thing about Summer Games Fest, you never know what you're gonna get. But there it is, Warhaven. It even has a title.
I'm looking out for that, man.
It even has a title that is very similar to like a hold fast or something like that. It's just like one word kind of like 1-2 word thing. Yeah, it's coming this fall. There is you can play it for free during Steam Next Fest, which is June 19th to June 26th. So
I believe I'm gonna be out there. Best believe, dude.
Yeah, you know what's interesting too? It's made by Nexon, which if you don't know Nexon, I believe it's the same developer that did Maple Story and like that kind of stuff. Very different style of game here than Maple Story, I will say that. But Nexon has branched out, so they're doing a lot of different stuff now. But dude, I don't know, Mike. This looks pretty sick. I ain't gonna lie. This looks like a good time for like at least a couple hours. So yeah,
I'm very much looking forward to it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like it right off the bat, it gives me the vibes of like Lord of the Rings, Two Towers.
Yeah.
When they were doing the Battle for Helm's Deep, and there's just everybody from everywhere like fighting each other. And it's all chaos. It's like, dude, I want to be that. Like I want to be in there. Not really, but like I want to be a part of that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a game we could play, Mike. You know what I'm saying? But I think from time to time we're always like, do we need to hop on a game? You just never do. We host a podcast about gaming. We don't do any gaming together ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Download Wu-Lang Dynasty and beat the first boss. We'll do co-op and we'll basically just go through the whole game.
Okay.
It's on Game Pass.
I'll And also, ladies and gentlemen, sign up for the Patreon because that'll be extra content. I'm just record any co-op content.
Join the Discord. We'll stream.
Oh man! Speaking of a game though that is fun with a lot of people, and this is a game that I will say just first and foremost, very very funny game. But also when they were showing off the streams of people that played a lot of the kind of like early tests and stuff like that, they included a V streamer, which I thought was very inclusive, very cool. So good on Party Animals. Good on Party Animals. But this game has been out. I mean, what feels like it should have already been out, and it's had many playtests and many people have played it. It's finally got a release date.
There's a lot of yeah, and that is September 20th, 2023 on Xbox and Steam. So, which Xbox? Who knows? All of it.
All of
it. You know that's.
It's like just a Xbox. Generic. It's on everything. Yeah. Game Pass.
Pretty much
specific, but yeah.
I love those types of games because those games actually, in particular, you just mentioned about how we need to start playing games together. Like Human Fall Flat is one of them. Totally Reliable Delivery Driver, I think, is the other one, and then there's another game out in that realm. And Party Animals reminds me of it. That like just goofy Fall Guys kind of mechanics.
That's what it is. So, yeah, it's very
really cool.
Yeah, it's like it immediately reminds me of like Gang Beasts. Like whenever you compare it to a game, it's like it's pretty much Gang Beasts, right? Because like Gang Beasts, I feel like kind of pioneered that goofy, like it's kind of hard to play, but that's what makes it funny kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very much in this vein. But it's good to see this finally got a release date. It's coming out in September. Again, just a few short months away. And then we got a little more info on, guess what? Dying Light.
I was about to say, here comes your game, dude. This is all you, brother.
It's so funny too because I haven't played this game in probably a year at this point. Since playing it last time. But I mean, but it's good to know that they're still doing DLC for it. They're still kind of trying to put out some content for it. I think it's always reassuring. It's a game I want to revisit soon, just to see, especially like bug wise, if a lot of any like glitches or anything got patched out. It's like my gauge now to see if studio is actually paying attention to their game, right?
If they care. This is pretty much where we're at.
Yeah, it is pretty much where we're at. And we're also pretty much at the Crash battle, the Crash team battle, whatever. Which is kind of the next game here.
Battle arena almost.
Battle, yeah. Very much like a this is very much a game you grab some friends, you're like, all right, I'm gonna we're gonna body each other and I'm gonna see who's better at a game. Crash Team Rumble though. That is this game coming out very soon, which Mike mentioned at the top of the show. So got some more kind of another little mini trailer for that. I also got a lot of ads for Samsung devices and
Samsung is pushing for Game Pass and Luna and all these other things.
And I get it. At Summer Games Fest, I have to pay the bill somehow. So this is the way of doing it. We'll get Samsung to pay us millions to talk about their gaming hub. So,
honestly, I'm thinking about getting a new TV, and it's going to be Samsung. Not because of the previous, just because, maybe they're good. They're good manufacturer.
I'll be looking for a new TV soon. But you know what else I'm looking for?
You're looking for this game. You're looking for this game.
Oh baby, team me up. You know what I'm saying? Alan Wake 2 got a little more of extensive of a talk here. Following the October announcement at PlayStation Showcase. And the man himself came out, whose name is leaving me, which I'm very very disappointed in myself for not knowing his name.
I'll help you.
Because he was the name and the face and likeness of the first Max Payne, so and the second Max Payne, so and he's been working at Remedy for decades at this point. Sam Lake, there, his name showed up right there, saving me, Summer Games Fest. But yeah, so Sam Lake came to stage. He flew out to Summer Games Fest to talk more about Alan Wake 2 because he is playing a character in this game as well, which it's so weird to see because especially from like early 2000s capture and tech, what they essentially just put like different PNGs for Max Payne on like a model and just like sent him out. But now it's like he's full mocap, like it looks like him. So very interesting to see. But also they talk about the game a little bit more. They show some gameplay. It's in Alan Wake 2. You're going to be playing as Alan Wake, but you're also playing as somebody else as well. So it's kind of like a two character. And for what they were describing, it's like at any point in the game you could switch between the two. So I'm curious to see how that dynamic works. But the thing about Alan Wake 2 is that this is a very more survival horror kind of theme with this one. It's very much heavy on that. which I'm all for because I think Alan Wake, although it was a good game, I think for a lot of people they were just like they didn't really enjoy it. They didn't really see kind of the beauty in it, if you will. Even though I loved it and I played it and yeah, did all that. Yeah, it's good. It's nice to see a different direction, and they're definitely doing that with this game. I'll skip forward to the gameplay, because Sam Lake is just talking Jeff's ear off about the game. But yeah, seeing the actual gameplay itself, I mean, like it's a survival horror game right here. This is
Dude,
textbook,
it looks phenomenal. Like, do you
Mm.
know? Do you remember when the first Alan Wake came out?
Yeah, yeah, I do actually.
13 years ago, brother.
Yeah, it's kind
So
of
we're
crazy.
about due for the sequel, right? People thought the
Yeah,
day
more
would
than
never
due.
come, you
Yeah,
know?
for sure.
but
Yeah,
but being able like to revitalize the franchise in a way. I mean, now it's going to be a franchise with the second one,
yeah,
and then add something new to it. It's I'm excited. I'm excited mostly for you, dude.
yeah,
Oh, the cat is a
yeah,
surprise guest
yeah.
now,
Surprise
ladies and
guest. Yeah, she
gentlemen.
just decided she wanted to get on the desk. Anyway, um,
She's excited too.
yeah, she's very excited for Alan Wake. I'm very much looking forward to the game. But yeah, I mean, I think overall it's a different take. Dude, it's been a very long time, and I do remember like one of my buddies got this game whenever the first one came out, and it was kind of like that was a game I was like very much like trying to play. Unfortunately, I just never got to until much later. But yeah, I mean, there's a couple jump scares in here, and the trailer for the second game or trailer and the gameplay for the second game, so it kind of gives you an idea for what this game is going to be. And dude, when they showed too, like just back it up for a second, the whole like light effect when they shine the flashlight on him,
Yeah,
dude, oh my god. Being able to see stuff like that in this new engine and with today's like graphical fidelity is gonna be like insane. So it's just a little taste. They didn't give us too much, right? But I think that's like for the best because I'm curious to see, and we'll see. I mean, they're gonna have other opportunities at like opening night live for Gamescom and stuff like that. I mean, there's gonna be more opportunity to show this game, but I kind of hope they keep it minimal because I want to be I'm curious to see, especially how Alan Wake's kind of story is gonna be, and how you're gonna be playing Sims. So very very interesting stuff. And yeah, I'm excited. This depending on how the rest of the promos go and stuff like that, depending on how the reviews pan out, this could be a day one get for me. So
yeah.
yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this one.
Let me ask you something. Since you played Alan Wake and it's like you love the game, did that game end on a cliffhanger at all, or was there just like a clear conclusion?
Trying to remember. I think I think there was kind of a resolution almost. There definitely wasn't like a major cliffhanger or anything, at least that I don't remember. Um but uh but yeah, so I mean it seems though that like this I mean, there was a resolution, but obviously with anything, I feel like there was a pretty easy way for them to, make a second one
One,
if they
yeah,
want to just kind of bend it a little bit.
kind of
So
those open wall kind of things,
yeah, yeah. I mean, it
or open
wouldn't.
door. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, but it just seeing Alan Wake, like it like because they show a little bit of him, and it's like he's in like this underworld like city almost. It looks like it's just like I
Yeah,
am very much intrigued to see like kind of what his
how
story is going to
everything
be
ties
like.
together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So. Yeah, dude, I'm hyped for this one. To say the least, man. But yeah, we got a lot more info on that. Again, October. I think it's October 17th that one's coming out. So, it's not too far off. But yeah, Warhammer, Mike. I don't know if you're too into Warhammer. Um, but
I kind of feel like I should be, man, because there's been so much content coming out of Warhammer for the last
yeah,
like 3 to 4 years. It feels ridiculous. Like when I saw this trailer right here, for people that are just listening, it kind of reminded me of the Gears of War franchise in space. Um, just like endless hordes of like beasts coming after you, and you're like just one giant dude carrying like a total machine gun and wrecking people. It's feel like you're invincible kind of attitude.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you were. I remember when you were doing like when we were kind of chatting live, like this was going on. I know your immediate thought was Gears, right? Because that's what it looks
Oh,
like.
100%.
Like,
Yeah,
and
it
it
looked like
just
Gears of War.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people thought the same, right? Because I mean, it looks like years. Because yeah, when I think Warhammer, though, I don't think of a game like this. That's for sure. So this is definitely something that would even interest me to try and check out. So, um, it's cool to see that they can kind of take the Warhammer sort of world and kind of mold it into different styles of games. So, this has me intrigued to say the least. So, Space Marine really out here. Well, that this winter the drops. Look at this. You can get a collector's edition, and it's like some dude like choking an alien. Look at that. It looks like some out
It
of
really looks like the alien from Alien.
literally. So, yeah, cool little collector's editions there. But yeah, we saw. I don't know what this game is. I'll be honest, but it reminds me of It reminds me of an art style that I can't. I mean, honestly, it's like an 8-bit art style, right? To say the least. So
I was about to say
kinda
it's
just
like pixelated
yeah.
deliberately.
Yeah.
Yes or Gray Snowfall.
You can wishlist it. It's coming out next year. But yeah, it's very much that 8-bit art style, which pretty interesting. So, seeing more of that. But yeah, this is so this is very interesting. This was I saw this. So yeah, this is John Carpenter's entry into video games. But when I saw this, I was like, is this like a Back for Blood style of game? Like I was so
That's
confused.
what I thought
like,
too, man.
Because you see the guns and it's like this looks just like Back for Blood almost. And you see like the different zombie types and everything. But yeah, this I feel like it's gonna be that kind of style of game, maybe like a World War Z like kind of zombie shooter.
This is exactly what I was referring to. I think when I was talking about Remnant 2, how it's like that co-op, Last of Us, Back for Blood style stuff. It's like that. This is 100% what I was like trying to describe. A team-based, endless hordes trying to get from point A to point B when everything in the world is after you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it looks. I'll be honest. It looks like it has a better story, more compelling story, and way different bosses, like villains.
Yeah.
So, Toxic Commando, huh?
John Carpenter's Toxic Commando. It's out 2024. The broad year release date. Don't you love those?
Of course, we're gonna see plenty of that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. A giant year. Another update on Baldur's Gate 3. That's finally getting the 1.0 release after it's been in early access for gosh, how long? I haven't been keeping track, but
forever, man.
Yeah.
Feels
Yeah,
like
they introduced a new character. It's gonna be part of the mainline story, but yeah, it's Jason Isaac. I saw like they show a little bit of his character too, and it's like, oh, he did a pretty good job. So, at least narration wise, so.
Remind me of like Nikki Six from what's it called?
Does. Yeah, from the Motley Crue.
Motley Crue, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, so
That's pretty funny, yeah.
what's his name from Green Day? Can't remember
Billy
his
Joe.
name either. Billy Joel. Yeah.
Armstrong. Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3, August 31st. It's finally got 1.0. Yay. They made it to 1.0. Yeah, that's end of the summer. Right at the end of the summer. So yeah, very excited for the Baldur's Gate guys. This next part was something I did not expect, Mike. I'll be honest.
The release date?
The release date for Spider-Man 2 was announced, which is kind of crazy because they just showcased like the major gameplay at the PlayStation Showcase. But I think it's also kind of cool.
They didn't show it there, did they?
They didn't.
I don't think they did.
I think they didn't. They just like talk about the release date. But I think it's very interesting the amount of love and trust they're giving to Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest, where they're like, we're gonna hold out on a major release that could have really boosted the PlayStation Showcase, maybe to a little bit, at least a little bit. We're gonna hold out to the actual main showcase. So I mean, it just shows how much these major developers too like trust in Jeff and like support what he's doing, kind of thing. So I thought this is very cool. But yeah, they show they talk to creative director Brian Intihar. I think I said it right.
We're so bad with last names.
We really are, man. Yeah, creative director Insomniac. This is they show some screenshots.
Concept art, yeah, the screenshots. What's up?
I mean,
it looks good.
Look at Venom, bro. That looks so sick.
Looks like Venom, man.
Like it did. Looks so rad. Yeah, they show a lot of this stuff, but also they end it. They're like, oh, Jeff, I wanted to give you something good. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to, we wanted to give you a major. We didn't want to leave you with nothing, And so after showing a little bit of gameplay, showing some of the art, nice little kind of trailer, effect comes up. Spider-Man 2, be greater together, and then it's like dun dun dun, bam, reveal October 20th, 2023. This game's dropping.
Yeah.
Dude, September, October is gonna be kind of crazy, Mike.
It's gonna be
they're pretty stacked. Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty stacked fall, I think, this year. To what's already an insane insane amount of titles that have come out in 2023, and it's like, yeah, this is not compared to 2022 in the slightest. It's much better, so it's just got me more excited, I think.
It's only going to get better, I think.
It's true, man. It's true. It's only going to get
Over the
better.
course of the weekend is what I mean.
I mean, yeah, in all aspects. You know what I'm saying? This is the trajectory, right? And for those just listening, I have my hand, and my voice is cracking, but I have my hand just kind of going in an upwards, trajectory. The way you want a stock market to go, kind of thing, incline. But we also have this was so weird, dude. I want to be honest with you, Mike.
Dude, I thought it was Pokemon, man.
I think it's supposed to be but it's literally Pokemon with guns. The only way to describe it.
Yeah,
it's a Pokemon shooter, and you could tell they didn't have official licensing because some Pokemon. I saw jokes going around about like the Pokemon in this game just look like either sketches or like deliberate like ripoffs. They're like trying to change stuff about them so they're not directly ripping off Nintendo, but
I want to just know why.
I don't know. It seems out of place for Summer Games Fest, right? Like I don't know.
I don't know, man. Let me be real. Like, I think an open world Pokemon game like that. I think I even mentioned that when I watched Detective Pikachu and we were doing the podcast together. I was like, they need to create a game in that universe, like 100%. Why are we not doing that yet? Make it open world and stuff. And it's like we finally get it, but then this looks like, why did you do it?
It's kind of like it's like why are we giving Pikachu a gat? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like what's going on here?
What is happening right now?
Yeah, dude, it's just very confusing to say the least. But okay, man, they're calling them pals, I guess.
Palworld.
Palworld, yeah. January 2024 is what they're saying. I don't know. We'll see. I have a feeling though. I mean, that's so close. I feel like it's like caressing intellectual property for Pokemon. So we'll see if I think it survives. But I thought that was I wasn't expecting to see Pokemon with guns. That was not on my bingo card for Summer Games Fest. But here we are, And to continue on, this is a little string. I think after this is kind of a little string of just like a bunch of like smaller games. They're just getting these kind of a lull sort of in the showcase.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assumption. They typically do that, like a little bit of filler content,
right,
before they get into what they really want to get into. So, are you showing it right now?
I guess I am.
Oh, not quite yet.
It's just a lot of stuff.
It is. I mean, a couple of the highlights that I saw, it's like they had that dwarf game that looked very interesting. There was. For the life of me, I literally can't think of it. Obviously, it wasn't that memorable, but most of the art style is very interesting. I think interesting take. But what did you just arrive on right now?
So this is a studio I personally love. Don't Nod, because they were the original creators of the Life is Strange series, and that's why it's like every time I like see them, I'm like, okay, I wonder what they're up to because I love Life is Strange. So they've made some interesting pivots because they're not doing Life is Strange anymore, right? I think like Deck 9 has the IP now. So it's like kind of they did that, but they moved on to other games. They did the vampire game, which that's a pretty big, pretty nice game, pretty good success. Yeah. And so this is kind of another game. I saw this and I'm like, my first thought, especially when you start seeing combat and everything, is it's almost like I just think God of War because it's kind of in that, and not to like kind of set the expectation for this game because that's like a high bar to meet.
That's a super high bar to meet.
But yeah, I mean, but just looking at the combat, I'm like, dude, this looks really good. Like you just see it, it's like, okay, this is interesting. There's a lot of magic. I mean, just if this is like actual gameplay, like it looks like it runs really well too. It's like okay, like but
a lot of promise.
Yeah, a lot of promise. But I mean, yeah, I think and there's like choices and stuff too, like throughout the story. So I'm like, okay, like Don't Nod, they know how to do stories. So I think I'm hoping at least the story will be decent. But yeah, I mean, combat wise, it looks great. I mean, the thing about Don't Nod is like I think they kind of just jump from concept to concept, like with their IP. So it's like they're just trying different things. So it's like if this is successful, are they going to stick with it, or are they going to try and pivot again? Because it's just the studio is kind of like they're like I feel like an IP limbo. They don't know what to really work on. But I mean, This is something that's I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out on. Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden, end of 2023. I think it's the first time I've ever seen somebody say end of the year, right? And it's always like fall. I think it's the go-to fall, maybe winter.
Or winter,
Yeah.
winter 2023.
But they're just like end of 2023. So let's go,
okay.
Dolnod. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It looks pretty good. I'm gonna be curious to see. Hopefully, it does make a release, and be curious to see how it goes. If you're a fan of Like a Dragon, I'm like, this next one, could be right up your alley.
It looks clean, dude.
Did
Looks clean. I love all this like Japanese,
Yeah.
ancient China
Yeah.
games coming out. I'm fascinated by that kind of stuff.
I mean, it's interesting too, because this is like Sega IP, and so it's weird to think
Yes.
same Sonic and all that. It's like they go on to the Yakuza series, and the Yakuza now it's Like a Dragon, and like it's in the same vein. But like the Yakuza games are like very beloved, right? And they're just like goofy and fun, and I think it's why people love them so much. It's a series I would very much want to get to one day, because there's just so much to do in those games. It's like you're doing the story, and you're like some like badass fighting, and like it's just insane like story, and then you're like at a karaoke bar or something like singing.
Yeah.
It's just like so like off the wall and just random. And there's a lot of just like very quirky humor in it. Yeah, I see this, and it's just like seeing these cinematics and seeing the color and everything. It's like, yeah, this is like a Dragon game. That's all I could say. So but yeah, huge audience for this. I think it looks pretty sick. Sega killing it, even to this day. You love to see that. So, yeah, Sega's got this, and they got this new Sonic game. Looks pretty rad, So, very cool to see. And then we have a nice little game here. This is I see a game like this, Quantic Dreams kind of behind it. You see games like this, and it's very much like this is going to be like either a heartstring puller, or it's going to be like a survival horror for like Subnautica style, like thing where they have to. Where it's like you're one guy and you're trying to escape or find civilization. That's when I first saw this, that was kind of where my head went. But I don't know, dude. It looks really good, and it's Quantic Dreams, so they know how to make a story. That's all I'm gonna say.
It looks stunning, though.
Yeah, it really does.
The physics look phenomenal. It really I feel like they got the fish looking right too. I feel like anything in the water is very difficult to animate.
Oh yeah,
and copy.
I feel like it's really hard to deal with water in general.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, it like you're saying, it looks amazing. So like visually, it looks very nice. So, this is definitely one that I'm curious. Under the Waves, August 29th. It's pretty close, Mike. It's pretty close. Less than 3 months.
Really close. Yeah, there's a lot of games coming out in the next 3 months.
Yeah. And also, it's coming out on the PlayStation consoles, Xbox consoles, last gen, current gen, Steam, Epic Games coming everywhere. Very interesting title. I have a cat meowing behind me that distracted me. So sorry about that. But yeah, Warzone got a new map announcement. I mean, it's Warzone.
Season 4. I mean, there's really not much to say other than new map, new guns, new DLC, and buy the skins, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. This is I think they're kind of excuse to get people back, right? Maybe like stepped away for a little bit. But, hey, just come check out the new season, new map, got some new stuff. Yeah, that's kind of their way of doing that. But again, like you said, not too much to say. So hey, if you're getting back into Warzone, there's gonna be new content soon. So maybe you're ready to dive in. And then like Porsche, like 75 years of the Porsche or whatever. Like, yeah, this is, it's interesting. I think the most interesting thing was, they showed off this console, which is colorful. I'll say that, Mike.
It's new age Porsche, man.
Yeah.
Porsche is a very interesting brand and company, and their cars hold phenomenal value. So
yeah.
I saw the controller, and you say it's interesting. I saw it, and I was like, yeah, that's Porsche. Like immediately, I'm like, that's something Porsche would do for sure.
No. Yeah, I mean, so they came out with that, like, there was like the colorful Xbox. I think they're in honor of 75 years of Porsche. They're releasing 75 different style Xboxes. I think they're giving away. So it's that's pretty cool. I mean, it was I noticed like that style though got a lot of heat because it was like, this doesn't look that great, but like there's also other styles too.
Point.
So like, I mean, yeah, it's not meant for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like the point is it's not supposed to look good.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's supposed to be ridiculous. You don't buy a Porsche because you're not trying to turn heads. You know what I mean? It's not a
Yeah,
casual car you get. Don't be basic, you know?
very true. Very true. We're speeding through, Mike. We're
We
trucking
are.
through. Marvel Snap. I heard this was kind of a letdown amongst the community because it's like they hype it up and they prep it like to be some huge thing, but it's kind of just fell flat and it's just not really like a huge thing for Marvel Snap. I don't know. I will say, gentleman though that presented a lot of energy. Wish I had his level of energy. At
Dude,
least
his
half
energy
of
was
his.
top tier. He was like yelling and stuff.
Dude, he was.
But basically,
into
what they
it.
were trying to show off, man, is just competitive. And
Yeah.
didn't they also grab a famous YouTuber? I mean, they also grabbed a famous YouTuber with PlayStation VR2
Yep.
stuff. I don't know if you ever saw him before. The guy with like the dreadlocks that were going like slightly over. I don't know what kind of hairstyle it is,
Yeah.
but he's hilarious. Highly recommend you watch his content. But the guy that was announcing this game for him was pretty sick
Yeah.
too. Yeah,
Dude,
I
I
don't
love
know
this
his
dude.
name, man.
I don't know his name
don't
either,
know his
but dude,
name.
I've seen his shorts and they're hilarious. And he's like,
Dude, he's hilarious.
Dude, his voice is velvet too. Have you seen him like voice
Yeah.
act? It's insane. Yeah, this guy's hilarious though. So I saw that and I'm like, dude, yeah, like more, you know.
Yeah, he's basically roasting card games like, while
Yeah.
promoting the card game. It's an interesting way to do it. I kind of liked it.
Yeah, it was very interesting. We continue on, Mike. I've seen a lot of medieval. You know, this is like a mobile
Oh,
game.
yeah.
You know, it's like, I mean, it's cool, I guess. You know,
Yeah,
but I
I
ain't,
guess.
yeah, super hype. I saw this game and I was like, yo. Is this like some Realm Royale like knockoff?
thought the
That's
same
what
thing.
that was the first thing I was like, is this Realm Royale? But then no.
I thought the same exact thing as you, man. I saw that. I was like, what the heck is going on? This looks phenomenal, but it's also looks like something we've seen before.
Yeah.
So Wayfinder is the name?
Yeah, Wayfinder. You become a founder. Play Wayfinder. It's on Steam, PlayStation, no Xbox.
Gosh, I hope this doesn't end up like Hyperscape or something.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like
Popular for like 2 weeks and then disappears into the abyss,
man.
never to be seen of.
saying early access is this summer. No date though, you know. Could be August. Could be July. It could be September because that's technically in summer, even though, you know, some people don't consider it. And then they showed off they had a nice little trailer for the Fortnite world builder. You know. So yeah, I see a lot of this stuff. It's like this isn't Fortnite. Like they built this with yeah, it's crazy.
Dude, Fortnite went from being the best, like most popular game to being like, let's go create the next best game on our game. How does that even happen? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not even gonna show Twisted Metal because I heard that people that had the clip in their thing were actually getting like flags and stuff for it. So
Okay,
what the
yeah,
heck,
skip
Twisted
over.
Metal? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I mean,
skip
it
over
was
now.
it was okay, but like who knows? I ain't trying to throw too much shade, but we'll see how the show pans out. You know what I'm saying? Like a Twisted Metal show. I don't know, it may be good, but yeah, funny enough, I heard people were actually getting hit for that. So, we'll skip over it, but you're not missing much. Not talk too much trash, but ain't missing too much. We keep trucking along though. Immortals
This game, dude.
of
Looks
Aveum,
interesting.
dude. This game looks pretty
this-
sick.
Is this the one that's done by EA?
Yeah, it is. I think it's an EA
Yeah.
game. It's also, I think, ex Call of Duty devs, I believe. Are actually working on it. That's why it's an FPS.
If I wasn't
Dude,
not excited
Come
anymore.
on, Mike. No, dude. Oh
All right,
my
here
gosh.
let's tell the people why I feel the way I do. I have zero trust in EA games, and I have even more distrust in Call of Duty stuff. Just because the games haven't been good, man. They launched, they don't look that great. Was this also the one where I DM'd you and I was excited until I saw EA Origins, and then I don't remember if it was this game. I think it might have been, but you said that it looks framey, didn't you?
No, this
Was
is
it
this
this
is the
one?
game. This is the game, Mike.
Oh, this.
You see some
Oh,
gameplay. It's yeah, especially like I mean,
don't get me wrong, it looks gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
But all EA games look gorgeous until you play them.
Yeah.
And then they break.
I mean, it looks gorgeous, but at the same time, there's also, it's I mean, don't get me wrong, the world's probably huge, but like, I just think it's yeah, it's not it definitely wasn't the best performing game. I'll say that. Especially some of these cutscenes, it does get a little framey. It's not like terrible, but I do notice that it does struggle a little bit at times through the demo. So
It's
something I noticed.
definitely 30 frames per second.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
Like 100%. You can tell when there's ships like flying across the screen and panning,
Yeah.
and the explosions are very stuttery.
Oh yeah, you can definitely tell. Even using the abilities, the hands are not fluid, right? So it's like you
No.
can tell it's not 60. But I mean, I'll be curious to see, how it does. I mean, I think it's an interesting take on a first person shooter because it's magic, which you don't really see too many. I'm using
Yeah.
magic to, in a first person game, so
Yeah,
it'd be
honestly,
interesting
this
to see
might be
that.
why.
Yeah, and who
Like, that's
knows?
a lot of
We
light, a
could,
lot of
yeah.
action, a lot of pop-ups, yeah.
I mean, like theoretically, especially the game ran really well. It's like, all right, it's pretty sick. Um, Again, but I think your point is totally valid. Of you gotta wait till release, especially on an EA associated game. So
Yeah.
grain of salt, especially with games like this. We'll
Yeah,
see
I
how it
don't wanna
ends
be
up.
a hater, just I lower my expectations when I see known devs who release trash to fix it later, like, announce new games, like, I just lose interest almost immediately. It's like, "Okay, well, it'll be on my radar because it looks gorgeous, it's a cool concept, I see what they're trying to do, but I'm not gonna get too excited." Like,
Yeah,
yeah, expect the worst, never be disappointed kinda thing.
yeah. Those expectations gotta be careful sometimes.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yeah, yeah. Apparently, there's like a blockbuster actor in this main character and stuff too. We'll see if it's yeah, it's sometimes just a
July
character. Some
I
can
think
draw
it said
people in.
July 20th?
We'll see. We'll see. Actually,
That's,
that's a good point. I didn't even. Yeah, July 20th next month.
oh my gosh. It looks like that, and it's coming out next month?
Oh no,
Okay,
Mike.
okay,
Oh
first hot
no.
take, dude. Flop. Flop.
Oh,
I'm
this
calling it.
man said, oh no, dude.
Don't get me wrong, I think it's a phenomenal concept. It's like the devs are probably crushing it, but, EA Games, dude. EA Games, that's all I gotta say. EA Arts.
You know what they say,
That's
dude?
all.
EA Games challenge everything.
Yeah, facts.
And apparently, games are a challenge to make nowadays. Am I right?
For them,
Um,
yeah, I guess. Meanwhile, we'll talk about indie devs later. They're crushing it, so I don't know
Dude,
what's going on, man.
it's exciting. Yeah, we'll keep on trucking. Fortnite, Optimus Prime in Fortnite, calling all
I was actually
Autobots.
pretty excited about this, to be honest, dude.
Yeah, it looks pretty sick. Who's surprised that a new IP is coming to Fortnite? Not me. But yeah, I mean, dude, it's Fortnite, bro. They have a bajillion dollars. All right, it's gonna look good. You know what I'm saying?
They have
Don't worry.
unlimited money. They're basically printing it over there. They heard
They're
a recession. They
basically
said,
printing
"Nah,
it.
fam." They said, "Nah."
Basically printing that. Printing them Johns. So yeah, it's yeah. I don't know. It looks pretty cool. Excited for the next season. That's coming out. I think like tomorrow. Oh, Mike.
Oh,
Oh
here's the
God. Oh
main one,
God. I'm
dude.
getting.
Here's the main one, dude.
Oh,
You just
this is
jumped
the
into
end.
it.
This is the end. All right. Yeah. This
All right,
is
the
this is
very
the end of the
final.
showcase. The final one. Yeah. The Jeff Keighley. He went into this saying, the rumors were right. Whenever someone says that, it's like your brain is like just going 50 million directions. What could it be? And then you at first report you see characters well known to the Final Fantasy universe, particularly Final Fantasy VII. And so yeah, it's like, oh, finally. And I was wondering like when is the next when's kind of the next entry? Are they gonna do like when's the follow up to the remake, right?
Yeah.
And here we are. It's 2023, and we're getting some news on it. But they show
Dude,
gameplay.
It looks good.
They show cutscenes.
It
I
looks
mean,
so good.
they put the time in, Mike, and my goodness, does it show, right? Yeah, it looks phenomenal. From
I'm
combat
about to buy
to
a PS5, bro.
yeah, you're telling me, dude, it's staying here forever. But yeah, I mean, dude, combat characters. Oh my gosh, you're just bombarded with so much. It's like it's one of those things you're gonna have to like rewatch probably multiple times to soak everything in. So,
It's a very interesting take on Final Fantasy, I think. I think it's a classic, bringing it
yeah,
back to the roots, but also adding a little bit of new things to it. The story, I hope, is amazing, dude. I don't know much about it, but it's like, bro,
yeah.
it's just the gameplay, the combos that are going on, the massive bosses, like, dude, it looks amazing.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is coming to the PlayStation 5 exclusively early 2024, and it's on 2 discs. Very, I read that and I was like, I was like taken aback. I was like, whoa, like this game is so big, Mike, that they had to put it on 2 discs in 2024. I'm just saying, like this must be a giant game if they're having a 2 disc hit. Which which honestly
I think we're gonna.
I thought 2 discs was a thing of the past. I'm gonna be honest, but
I
apparently
thought.
not.
Well, I thought discs in general was a thing of the past.
Oh
At
yeah,
this
dude. I mean,
point,
is Alan Wake coming on disc? I don't think so. We ain't getting Alan Wake 2 on disc. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, we had a whole segment about that. Just me complaining. Um, but yeah, discs. I think it's gonna be a collector's item for sure. I think that's how Final Fantasy is now.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
Square
for
Enix,
sure.
dude. Square Enix, let's go.
Same man. Square Enix. You know what they used to be called, Mike? Pop quiz.
Kingdom Hearts. I don't.
This guy,
Square.
bro.
One Enix.
No, it was Square something though. I will say that.
No, I have no
It was
idea. What were
Square
the original?
Soft. Square Soft.
Squaresoft.
Before Square Enix.
And I run
The
a
retro
podcast on
game
gaming,
pop
dude.
quiz. Gotta hit him with it.
You got
But
me.
yeah, that was the end of Summer Games Fest. Before we even talk about Day of the Devs, though, Mike, what did you think of the overall
Yes, sir.
showcase in comparison to last year, but also just as a general showcase?
Ooh, comparison to last year, that's hard to say. I think last year had different circumstances, right? Because um, EA was it? No, not EA. E3 was also canceled, but it was canceled like way ahead of time due to circumstances like revolving everything. But I think it was more about getting back into normalcy last year, right?
Yeah,
Where it's like, okay, we just got over this like 2 year hiccup of us all locked inside, kind of. People are getting back to their lives finally. So like, it was more no matter what came out in Summer Games Fest last year was going to be good. I feel like, but
yeah,
this one, I feel is more. I think there were some like games that came out where I was very very excited. Like as simple as like Sonic, I was pretty excited about just to see that. Very curious, very interested about Throne and Liberty, but my overall take hasn't really changed from like AAA between AAA and indie devs, where I think like AAA is still concentrating on the art style and how everything looks, and they're not too carried away or like care much about the mechanics of the actual game. That makes sense. So it's like like a lot of the trailers that I saw, every time I saw something, there were moments where I was just like, "Well, I mean, that's like this other game that I played like 10 years ago or like this other one that I played like 5 years ago." I didn't really feel like there was anything truly new.
yeah. It's
And
fair.
I think that's what's lacking in the AAA environment right now.
Yeah,
But
fresh
that's
ideas.
just yeah, it's like that I went in there kind of already feeling that way and then I feel more validated after watching it. If
Yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah,
It makes
but
sense.
how about you?
I think overall, I mean, yeah, I agree with your takes. Definitely different circumstances last year than this year. This was definitely a better showcase for me compared to last year. And I think just because we're further along, we're getting out of the being locked
Yeah.
up and everything, so that certainly helped. Um, but yeah, man, I think there was a decent amount of stuff where I saw the showcase. Like I mean, like the Sonic game and like Remnant 2 and even Final Fantasy. Even though I'm not like super like into the universe, still looks great and still was very interesting to me. Yeah, Mortal Kombat 1 even that was kind of like a whoa, like I've
Yeah.
seen Mortal Kombat so much, but it seems like they're like with like the cameos and everything, they're switching it up even more this iteration, and you could
I
tell that
did like that a lot.
yeah, you could
Yeah.
tell they took time into it. So there was a little more. I think there was more heavy hitters for me this go round. It certainly wasn't like a spectacular, amazing showcase, but it was definitely a lot better than last year. And at the end of the day, no matter how it is, I just love that we get an opportunity to see what's coming up next in games. I just love showcases in general.
Yes.
So I mean, I'm glad we continue to do these. I'm glad that it's something to look forward to for gamers. So yeah, I think overall it was a pretty solid showcase, and it's got me super excited, for the rest of the Summer Games Fest because we still have like another week of just
Literally
various different things to look at and see. So
yeah, we've literally just begun. Sorry, we've literally just begun. And
yeah,
it's not just what's going on at Summer Games Fest right now, but there's also the Tribeca Games Festival.
yeah,
That has kind of started officially. I tried watching it when it was like first announced, but they're still trying to do different things with it. Um, the main one that I was watching, I sent you the link for, was let's see if I can find it, the Gorilla Collective Showcase.
yeah,
and that's just another indie dev kind of showcase. And there were some games in there that I thought were actually like pretty cool as well.
Yeah,
So it's not just the triple A's that are going to be premiering this weekend, although they're definitely going to get the most hype. There's definitely indie games as well to look out for.
yeah, for sure. So yeah, I mean, before we continue on a little bit, but yeah, Summer Games Fest, I would say success. I very much
Yeah.
liked
Oh,
it.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah, I very much got a lot of stuff to look forward to. Now, especially this year, and it's doing a good job of prepping for fall because fall is going to be crazy, and I think a lot crazier than it was last year. So,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
a lot more hype, a
Now
lot
I
more excitement. So good on
yeah.
Jeff Keighley and everyone at Summer Games Fest because that was a really good showcase. But we continue on, Mike, to something that I think you were even alluding to a little earlier is maybe even because you were mentioning, it's especially going into the indie one, it's kind of a you said maybe it's not as many fresh ideas in the AAA space. And well, guess what, dude? Dave the Dev's here to change that for and for what's been, forever now. I mean, I think even since the start of Summer Games Fest, right? It's like Day of the Devs has been like the indie showcase that follows up, and
Yeah,
sometimes it doesn't
it's
get as much attention, but indies are still there.
yeah, there's no better way to demonstrate what an indie dev is than the day of the devs.
Yeah,
Not just like demonstrating, but give the showcase, and they're literally interviewing these people in their homes
like and
because
dude,
it's
that's my
like,
favorite part. It's like
yeah,
it's
it's like,
truly indie, right?
yeah, it's like, it's that classic what like Silicon Valley style. We started a tech startup in a garage kind of attitude.
Yeah,
You know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
like these are just people that love games,
Yeah,
and the reason why I love it so much is like I feel like most of them get into it and they concentrate more on the mechanics of the game.
yeah,
And I think that has a lot to do with just the fact they're computer programmers and stuff. So that's like their specialty. And then they go back to like maybe they'll get like artists and they get the best artists they can afford. And it's like they're on a small budget. So, but the mechanics usually hit, man,
yeah,
usually. And the games look good.
yeah.
I didn't see one that I was like, oh, that's a total bust, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, there's certainly a lot in this. Um, we won't try and spend too much time. We're already like insane length here for the show, so we won't spend too much time on all these.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like it is really cool just seeing like yeah, here's the actual here's the dev environment that this dude is making
Yeah.
this game in, and here's his home, here's his dog. See, he has a family. Like it's just crazy. And you get to see all the people who are involved.
It's like,
It's
here's my best
very
friend who
intimate.
does the music.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, here's a friend of mine. Yeah, does this, and
They-
it's really cool to see, to say the least. Yeah, Beastie Ball. This is one that was this was kind of like a sports like meets Pokemon style. Not that like
yeah.
completely like annihilate their their game or anything, but it reminded me a lot of that. Um, so yeah, I mean, this was only an hour. It's definitely much shorter than Summer Games Fest, but it's like, dude, just I don't even know what this game is, Mike. I'm gonna be honest with you, but just looking at it visually, it's like I cannot describe this in an audio format. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things. Like, I recommend if you're listening now, you should like pause and then just watch the YouTube video and just first of all, hi, welcome to the YouTube video, but also like look at this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just yeah, it's very creative. There's no other way to say it.
Yeah, it reminded me of like the Cycle, Minecraft, Fortnite, and then Spellbreak, like all
Oh
formed into
yeah, yeah,
one
yeah,
with
yeah.
shooters and melee combat. It's like, what is happening?
Dude, the
It looks like
color,
an
man,
open world as well. It's
the art
really cool,
style.
man.
This person was driving a hoverboard. That's just what it looked like.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
Like,
Back to the Future style.
yeah, for real. But it's like, yeah, like fun combat, colorful world, fighting game. Oh, by the way, here's the developer in their house talking about the game,
Yeah.
kind of thing. It's just sick, man. Um, yeah, this is. I mean, but
Here's how we created music. Like,
I mean,
it's
yeah,
so cool.
and like here's a game. It's just like you're just like in your house, like organizing, and like it's just like a sim where you're just picking stuff up, like you're packing, and so it's like you're just in your home, and there's like it's just very very different, very creative, and this when I saw the Polaroid, it reminded me of that game where it's like you take the picture and then the photo, like you like walk into the photo kind of thing, and it's like it alters the world. But yeah, I mean, it's just again, it doesn't seem like there's too much to the game, but it's just but yeah, it still seems like a good time because like you see you're just like, okay, I'm kind of interested, like where's this gonna go kind of thing. So still some intrigue there. But yeah, I mean, just going on and
Oh, this
on.
game?
Yeah,
Go back to this. This is
this is the
actually
game.
wild.
This is the game I was talking about. This is the game I was trying to talk about. Look at that. Dang. I didn't even that was my bad. I probably should have predicted this. But yeah, dude, this is a game. You're taking photos, walking into the photos, and it's like a whole other world. Like, dude, this is
Yeah, it's
creative.
like
My mind's blown
this
right now,
is
Mike.
this is simple and it's wildly creative. I don't think this has ever been done in gaming.
Yeah. It's like,
Like
look,
I can't think of it. It reminds me of Portal, but it's like way more interactive and better than
I'm
Portal.
saying, like, there's no bridge. Oh, let me just make one real quick with a photo and then just superimpose it. It's like, dude, what?
So wild, dude. Look at the cat, dude. I just noticed the cat for the first time in that video.
The kitty.
You see it on the right?
Yeah.
Can you pet the cat though?
I don't know.
That's how you know it's a
Trill
good
question.
game.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so it's very fascinating. You can like change the orientation of the picture, and you have to use the pictures in any way you possibly can in order to get through the map. It seems like it's all an obstacle course and a puzzle all in one. It's like a maze that you can make to get out.
This is a game that you utilize your brain, you know? Best kind
Oh,
of game.
for sure, yeah. What?
Utilize that
You can
noggin.
fall through it. Let's go.
There's a cat. Yeah, dude, it's just like you're placing things in a photo. Look, you're making a ramp out of a building, Mike. I just don't know what else to say, you know? It's pretty
So
crazy.
cool.
Um,
You take new photos.
dude, the physics is just insane. Oh man, this must have been years and years in the making. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure,
Easily.
dude.
This is a technical feat, to say the least. But yeah, I remember originally seeing gameplay for this on like Twitter, like when initial clips dropped. It's like
Same.
like it got like shared like crazy, right? It's like, oh, this is very interesting. Yeah, this the photo game, dude. Wish list it now, Viewfinder. Yeah, which
It's
is
coming for PlayStation 5. That's cool, man.
PlayStation 5 and Steam. So PC
Nice.
and console. It's really cool it's getting a console release too. It's like, you know, I feel like it's increasingly more difficult to develop on consoles, whether it's through legal fees or just
Yeah.
overall paywalls
IP or whatever.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, this game called is from a studio called Moonloop. I mean, what am I looking at, Mike? You know what I'm saying? This is sick.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
It's kind of wild. Yeah, it's hard to describe. I remember watching these. I'm just like, I don't know how to describe like any of these. It's just crazy.
That's one of the things I was nervous about when we finally get to these IPs that we know pretty much nothing about. Whereas like Summer Games Fest for audio format, we can kind of describe and help out, and like for people that are only listening on audio, you can kind of understand in general what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the indie devs, it's like, dude, this is stuff we've never seen before. It's
Yeah.
like, I think this is where the innovation is coming from in space.
That's what I'm saying.
I
This
think
is
that's where it's going to remain. This is the heart and soul of gaming, I think.
I mean, yeah, like this is the thing. Like, this is how you know these ideas are original and creative and all that, because it's hard for us to describe it. Like, for one, right? It's like you can't, like, a lot of this you just can't. It would take hours to describe some of this stuff, I feel like. But yeah, very like, yeah. This almost, again, it's like that 8-bit style. Kind of reminds me of like I don't even know.
Old school classic Game Boy style games, you know?
Yeah. Speaking, you remember Quabblecop? You know this YouTuber? He used to be a YouTuber. I think he got like controversy or something like that, so I don't even think he posts anymore. But yeah, I don't know. He founded a game studio. Didn't know that. Found out
I didn't know that either.
So yeah. And the game itself, just wait till you see this. This is like a Tony Hawk, like it's like I don't even know. It's almost, it reminds you of what is that game? Reminds you of like Hades almost in the art style.
Oh my gosh,
but it's like Tony Hawk, like, and you're just like destroying these zombies and stuff, but you're skating around. And the mechanics actually it looks like it plays pretty well, like just from what I'm seeing. But yeah, it's I don't know, dude. These are the oddball, off the wall ideas that make indie gaming great. So
it looks like Tony Hawk when you have all the cheats unlocked, like gravity, infinite tricks, infinite manual. Like, it looks cool. I like it. It's been a while since we had a good like Tony Hawk game, I think.
Yeah. The remakes to Pro Skater, I guess, was the most recent.
Yeah. I think this could probably hit.
Yeah. Waiting for Skate 4, right? You know, still waiting on
Yeah,
that.
for
You get that
sure,
early
dude. Oh my
access and all
gosh,
that.
what if we get the premiere, dude? We get the
Dude, at the
what?
Xbox showcase, I don't
Oh, the,
know, Mike.
it's over, dude. It's over.
I don't know,
That's
dude.
gonna pop off too because we're talking about like Skate was one of the most popular games I think ever. It's like
Yeah,
super popular, and now we're in a world or era where live streaming's a thing. Bro, the skate culture coming back, taking over Twitch, taking over YouTube. Let's go.
it's kind
I'm
of crazy,
excited.
right?
All right, so
You want
let's
to talk?
continue on with the indie devs though.
This is what I was like, we have to talk about, dude. It.
Possessing
How do you
materials.
even like how do you describe this one?
Um,
Everything's a face. Like let's just start there. Like everything has a nose and eyes, and then you're this little half head, and you're running around
you're
just
like a
turning
Dobby
into
head.
objects. It sounds ridiculous, man. There's no way to describe this without sounding insane. But essentially, you're this little half head, half head Henry, this little half head, the nose and eyes. You're running around transforming it into objects
It's like your
around your room.
spirit, like possessing objects,
Yeah.
as if a spirit possesses souls, like an exorcist kind of thing.
Dude, he turns into a faucet, Mike. I just don't even know, man.
It's a puzzle game for sure, right? It
Yeah, I
definitely
mean,
looks
for
like
sure.
it.
This is that
He's turning
creativity I'm
into
talking about,
soap.
though. I mean, I would never have thought in a million years a puzzle game could look like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's pretty wild. But yeah, it seems like you're just doing like kind of everyday tasks. And I guess
Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah,
you have a task list.
each level probably has its own list, and I bet you there's a timer too, so you can do like speed runs.
Yeah, that's probably where the replayability is in something like this.
Yeah, 100%. That's
He's
where I would put
toast,
it.
dude. He's literally a slice of toast. I don't know what to
He
say.
made himself lunch.
He turns it into, dude. It's just funny. Am I seeing multiplayer in this? Is that what I'm seeing, Mike? That'd be kind of
You're seeing
crazy.
split screen
Split
too.
screen co-op.
Oh my
This,
gosh, you see the
see,
knife? Somebody possessed the knife, use an apple, and they're trying to run away.
dude. Yeah, half head Henry or Henry half head, dude. Yeah, but this
Nice.
is like, dude, this be a sick co-op game. So the fact that we're seeing that, it's
Oh
like,
my
dude,
gosh, yeah.
I won't play. This is on my list. Playing this with a buddy, Um, yeah, that was like I remember. I think I had like tuned out to like do some stuff, and then I like tuned in for that game, and I just looked over at my monitor, and I was so confused. I was like, "What is happening?" Um, but yeah, have head Henry, the lead gameplay designer of Inside and Limbo, is bringing you yet another game. This is one. So this is a game I think we even saw at like a major showcase. It maybe been
Yes,
last.
we did. Yes, we
I
did.
feel like it was
We
last
saw
year's Summer
it.
Games Fest, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
Um,
we 100% saw this a
yeah.
couple of times. I think
But
there
yeah,
was
this
another
has been shown
showcase.
before. May have even been at the Game Awards. I don't know. This is one we've definitely seen before, and it was like it got a huge promotion because it was by the same designer of Inside and Limbo,
Yeah.
which are fantastic games and don't take that long to play. So it's something if you're looking for a good game. But yeah, this is the art style. Need I say more? You know what I'm saying? That's it. Art style.
Yeah. This is a this is definitely a game that's well, the whole trailer is I feel like it's a one for one from what we saw earlier,
Pretty much.
to be honest.
Yeah. It's
But it's
definitely
a
very similar.
puzzle, like what kind of game would you call this exactly?
I don't know, an isometric puzzle where you're a firefly, or you look like I don't know, maybe firefly's wrong, but like you're carrying an orange orb that you need to transport. It's probably a very significant item.
Yeah, it better be.
And you
Carrying it
have
everywhere.
a little knobby with you, it's a little like triangle fly following you around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very hard to describe, but it looks like a very intense game. So that was
Well, looks like a boss. Yeah, the boss battle too.
fighting a
That's pretty
jellyfish
cool.
boss. That's pretty sick.
Jellyfish mixed with like a starfish, but it also flies. It's wild.
Oh, it's pretty crazy. Cocoon. Name of the game. But yeah, that's I mean, there's so much more. This is wild because you're like almost painting in a world, and then like it's a completely black and white world, and when you enter it, you're like kind of painting as you look around, and
Yeah.
so the color kind of enters into the world. So you
You're like
see kind
bringing it to
of
life.
yeah. And so yeah, you're bringing this, and there's like because they pan out in this too. So like as you go, and it's almost I feel like they're trying to tell like a story of like a person or something like that. So you're seeing all these memories, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. It seems to be what they're going for. It's definitely story driven, walk around and interact, I guess.
Yeah, kind of seeing things from your past. But yeah, there's multiple areas because they kind of pan out, and there's a lot of levels. But I think that's the idea. It's like I feel like at least in my mind when I see something like this, the first thing I think is like you are a person that is trying to like comb through their memories to answer questions about their like life or something like that, or trying to solve some mystery kind of thing. So looks very interesting, very story driven, which is right up my alley, Mike. Might I say?
That's a fact.
Right
We
up
need to
my
get some
alley.
Kyle Heath streams back.
Oh yes, sir. ETE. We all see that. That's the name of the game. It looked like ETC ETE coming early next year,
Ite?
2024.
Yeah,
ETE.
who knows?
It's got
It
the
was good.
accents, so I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know any language other than English, so can't watch up there. But
Same. Same.
yeah. I mean, yeah, dude, there's so much more. They're talking about I think they were talking about the kind of the in-person Day of the Devs because there's like an in-person
Yep.
event and also a digital event. Last year was all digital. Now it's in person, which we didn't even mention. The Summer Games Fest had a crowd, like a live studio,
That's
had a live
always
audience this
cool.
year, which is always awesome. It's the first time in ever for Summer Games Fest to have a live audience, right? So yeah, very cool stuff there. I mean, dude, all right, like I don't know what this is. It's an isometric game. Oh, just watch this part right here. This is just, I mean, because like you see all the sheep, they run towards the cliff. Beautiful. Look at that sunset. Oh my sunrise. I don't even know what it is, dude. That's a desktop background right there. That's all I'm gonna say.
It really is.
Because like
Yeah, it's basically it was really cool to hear what the dev was talking about. He was just like, I just wanted to show like historically what his people did, right? So shepherding.
um,
So the whole thing is about just going out and being a sheep herder, moving from point to point,
all done in a
gather them
beautiful,
together, and
breathtaking
bring them
environment
back.
in Summerhill.
Yeah,
Folktale about life,
folktale.
loss,
Yeah,
and livestock. So, wishlist on Steam. It's a Steam game. So yeah. Summerhill game.
looks good.
Summerhill.game to find out more. This is the thing, dude. I mean, he's just dude. The passion, you can tell. There's a lot
It
there.
looks good, man. It looks like it's gonna remind me of Evo, whatever game I downloaded, Evo one, Exo one, where it's just like a small, beautiful game that tells a story, and you got to be paying attention to it, kind of thing.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Yeah.
It's also an anime style game. Might I say, it actually graphically looks pretty sick. I was seeing the combat. I was like, this looks good.
It
I'm not
did.
like
It looked like a true slasher.
yeah. This is actually I mean, it looks like a pretty decent game. But yeah, I feel like if you're into anime too, you'll like the story and kind of all that. Yeah. But I mean, gameplay wise, it's like it's that's what I love about anime. It's like an art form is you can do pretty much whatever, right?
Oh
And
yeah,
so like I think that'll be kind of that'll be how this game shines the most, I think. But yeah, it almost seems like a slice of life, like kind of shonen style, where it's like you're fighting enemies but you're like a typical high schooler, kind of thing. So, I feel like a common anime kind of trope. But yeah, that's it's coming out in September 2023.
Eternites.
Eternights? Yeah, I was about to say. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it either.
Coming on Steam, Epic Games, as well as PlayStation. So sorry, Xbox. Yet again. We talked about retro consoles recently, like how I've been kind of getting into like circuits and stuff like that, like circuit boards and whatnot, cleaning stuff and doing all that. This is a game where you pretty much can like build circuits and little like gadgets and stuff, and it's kind of the idea. And you got inspiration from other games, sort of like it, where it's like you either make your own game or kind of create something within a game. So it's kind of what this is. And so you're just like making like little consoles,
Fake Boy.
all that.
Made a Game Boy called Fake Boy.
They made a
It's
snake
very interesting.
game.
It's very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, like
It's
this is creative.
developers giving a tool to create your own game, and then they're sharing it. The guy at the end, he talks about just join the Discord and show us your creations.
Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of a
Pretty
thing where
cool.
you can make a device and just in the game. It gives you, it's like it's called Retro Gadgets. Steam Early Access. Yeah, it's available now, so you can go. I may go play around with it, and see what it's all about. But yeah, it's really cool. You can make like little gadgets and stuff. It's kind of the entry point into that. This is a game where you're a Mars rover. Need I say more?
Yeah, this game immediately reminded me of. I'm gonna open up Steam right now. Hopefully, I can find it by the time we just
Yeah.
finish watching the preview. But
Yeah,
it's a robot game that you basically like progress up to, and it's like robot battles, and you create your own robots, and you have like an economy, and you have like a certain amount of weight and engineering that goes into it. Um, my library just opened. Let's see if I can find it. Hopefully, quick, please.
it does look pretty rad though. I'm not gonna lie, because like you said, you're building like a rover, but it's also like everything has like physics, and you have to be careful because like they show like if you try to pick up some stuff and like you try to be quick with like an objective or something like that, it will just fall apart or just not work. So they kind of displayed that throughout the game. So
Robocraft is what I was trying to talk
RoboCraft.
about.
Okay.
Robocraft. You create your own. Oh, they even had a update not too long ago. Look at that. Literally last month. Hopefully it's good. But yeah, Robocraft is basically you create your robots and then you battle each other. This is interesting where you create your own robot and then you transport things
Yeah. And
all
see if the
over the
design
Martian
sucks,
surface.
you'll just drop your whatever your transport.
It
Doesn't work.
breaks and everything's
Yeah.
over.
But yeah, it's like creative ways to like there's like giant fuel tanks you have to transport, and so you have to come up with a creative way to like transport that. And get to see the different attachments and stuff for your rover. Yeah, I don't know. It looks pretty sick.
It's
I love
really cool,
I love the
man.
graphics because it's very simplistic. It's kind of just like
Oh yeah.
almost like outlines really, and then just like it's like they just color it in. So yeah, it's definitely creative. I guess your main objective: build a rocket and escape planet. No one wants to stay on Mars forever, right?
100%.
That's what I'm saying.
Got to get back home.
Gotta get back home. I don't think we have too much left, Mike.
No, we're pretty much getting towards the end of it where they start talking about the devs and like what they do for a living and like a little bit of a background of who they are and the relationships they have and how everything kind of works. And mostly a promo of like, hey, thanks for the support first of all, but also if you're a developer, why don't you go ahead and like submit to try to get involved in the next showcase for next year?
Yeah, it seems very
So
open. So
yes,
yeah.
100%. And don't they finish it off with like a song as well? Like of
Yeah, I
everybody
think
in the
so.
studio. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like that's kind of cool.
yeah,
That's
kind of
pretty cool, man.
showcasing all the games and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty sick. I don't know. I like yeah. I mean, after watching Day of the Devs, I think it's one of those like it's one of those showcases I don't want to miss now. It's like I definitely want to try and catch it every year when I can. So and I don't know. I would encourage anyone listening too to give as many showcases a chance as you can because you may find some gems and just keep a note of what you liked, and then when it eventually comes out, you can pick it up and try it out. There's a lot of opportunity for to find something you may not otherwise would have played. So
I really think that the indie dev showcases at Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo even now, and Day of the Devs does, along with all these other showcases, it's like it's worth paying attention to because it seems like they're the only ones really innovating. And if you want to see like where the inspiration's coming from, especially if they're a huge hit, they're going to get poached by the bigger devs.
yeah,
And it'll be proven like, okay, this is actually a success. All right, let's add it to like a major AAA title and take it to another level. So
right.
it's always worth paying attention to.
For sure,
Yeah.
it always is. Yeah, Mike, that was a that. What do you think of Day of the Devs as a whole? You think in terms of a showcase? You think it's a solid one? Just waiting for it. Anticipation is killing him.
Sorry. My internet is poo poo right now.
I see.
So
I was gonna say,
is my voice coming in clearly at least?
yes, it is. I was gonna say though,
Okay.
I noticed your video was getting a little choppy, and I was like, oh, is that me? Like I didn't know what it was. Makes
I thought
sense.
it was you, to be honest. And then your voice started fading out, and then I looked at and I was like, oh no, that's me. So my bad.
All good.
Were you about to send us
So-
out? What was happening?
Well, I was gonna say, as far as Day of the Devs as a showcase, how do you think it was as a whole? Do you like what you see? Excited for the next
Always.
one? That's the thing.
Always. My sentiment when it comes to like the indie devs is I love it. I want to see more of it. I've like I keep bringing it up, man. We got to go to Carolina Summer Games Fest, not Summer Games, Carolina Games Summit is what it's called.
Yeah.
Where they showcase local indie devs. Like, dude, we got to go check that out.
Yeah,
Be
for
a
sure.
perfect opportunity for us to make some contacts, get some people on the podcast, do a couple interviews. We
True.
haven't done one of those in like basically 6 months, dude.
Oh, it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, we're about due.
I don't think we even did one this season yet. You know, we're working on the content. You know,
so.
I think we're building up our building up the core. You know what I'm saying? One of the people that'll listen.
I was thinking about it, dude. I think we're getting decent enough at doing the podcast fluidly, bouncing off each other. Maybe we should start doing the live content. Maybe.
You know, we're gonna have another season after this. You know what I'm saying? So,
hey yo, all right, let's go then.
that's the good opportunity. Maybe like that. But yeah, overall showcases, I very much enjoyed them this year. I thought they were better than last year, personally.
I think you're right.
You're right. We're still not done with Summer Games Fest week. I mean, this is like a week of showcases, so be sure you tune in next week too to see our thoughts and cliff notes on all the other showcases. But yeah, we're almost at 2 hours, which I didn't think we were gonna take that long. But yeah, there was a lot to talk about.
We would.
And
I knew we would.
And you know, I'm very scared because I think next week's probably gonna be the same. So I'm just warning the viewers and listeners now, be in for the ride because it's probably gonna be another long one. So
yeah. Well, it's called Passion. And if you made it this far, or if you skip to the end to figure out what's going on, we do have like timestamps. As close as I could get them, but timestamps to the topics and the games if you want to get like initial peek. Talked about them for like 2 or 3 minutes, but I mean, there was so much content, dude. You can't just spend like 10 minutes per game. We'd be here for 5 hours.
Certainly can't.
No,
but yeah, overall success. Very much looking forward to what this week has to offer for other announcements. Yeah, Mike. All I got this week. That's all I got. That's it.
Yep. Feel free to join the Discord. I've seen a couple of people jump in here and there. What we like to do is I'll just ping in the notifications tab, like, hey, at everyone, the summer game. I did that this morning, really. It was like Summer Games Fest is at this time. It's going live. Like, check it out. Like, just quick reminders. We have event notifications for everything in the gaming space. If you guys feel free, join us. If not, follow us on Twitter. We also post on Twitter. We're having fun there. And thank you for listening. Ultimately, we do appreciate the views. We've seen a lot of new views and new subscribers, which is pretty sick.
Yeah. So, yeah, thank all for subbing. Thank all for watching and listening. If you've made it this far in this long video, dude, you're the GOAT. I'm just going to say it. I appreciate you. I don't care about everyone. No, I'm just kidding.
There's a lot of long content. And the people that are listening to this is either listening in parts or they're at work with their earbuds in and they're just listening to us ramble.
All I'm saying is, if you're driving, I hope you're crushing it on the road. I hope you're paying attention if you're at work. Hope you're crushing it and going above and beyond, you know?
Yeah, sure.
If the pay is reasonable, may I say.
Exactly. That's where we're at. But let's let the people go. I mean, we are over an hour and a half. I thought we had ended at an hour and a half. Now we're at an hour and 50. Let's just stop talking. Let's let them go. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week. We're going to give you a further update. Hopefully we see some fire in the Xbox Game Showcase. And Starfield, #1 hit, I think, on everybody's mind. So, yeah, thank you for tuning in. I'm Michael Anthony, my co-host, Kyle Heath, and I got to go eat dinner, so catch you later. Peace out.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Bye.
Bye.